Do you know how tremendous the power of Jesus was in dealing with darkness? Imagine a man alone in society and lives with tombs, with acute disturbance brought about by demons day and night. No human could ever help him. But the presence of Jesus changed everything. This story, the exorcism of the Gerasene demoniac, is one of the most dramatic accounts in the Bible. It is a mighty witness to Jesus' power over evil and reveals profound truths about freedom, mercy, and spiritual warfare. Join us as we dive into this fantastic story and unearthing some life-changing lessons for us today. Just over the Sea of Galilee, from it came Jesus and his disciples into the region of the Gerasenes. And there met him as he landed, a man risen out of the tombs, full of foul spirits, whom they had bound with chains and fetters to hold him. And he, being oftentimes torn apart with his bite, he had shaken the chains apart and broken the iron fetters. He groaned night and day, crying and tearing his belly with stones, and he was separated from the human race and seemingly hopeless. When the man saw Jesus afar off, he ran towards him, fell on his knees before him. Now at this stage of the story, it is revealed that the man was by no means alone. He had legion upon legion of demons inside him, but the unclean spirits knew exactly whom Jesus was. In fear, they screamed through the man, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? Don't torment me." This cry testifies that the demons are aware of Jesus' power right off the bat. They knew he was the Son of God, and they also knew he had the power to command them. Their question wasn't one of ignorance, but of dread. The demons were sure of the authority standing before them, and their plea, "Don't torture me," reveals their fear of judgment. Jesus said to the demon, "Depart from that man." And he asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "My name is Legion, for we are many." This word legion is significant because in Roman army parlance, a legion normally implied 6,000 men, so it meant an enormous number. While this isn't necessarily the actual number with this man, it does provide evidence of the great spiritual oppression under which this man was. He wasn't possessed by one demon, but by a few, a literal legion of demons giving him agony and delivering to him supernatural strength. Next came the strange request. The demons implored Jesus not to eject them from the area, but rather to let him drive them into a nearby herd of pigs. It does more to pose questions than resolve them. Why did they want pigs? Why were they not afraid of being left in the district? But one of the most interesting questions relates to Jesus' compliance. The pigs were about 2,000, feeding on a hillside nearby. And when Jesus gave them permission, the demons left the man and went and entered into the swine. And the herd rushed headlong down the steep place into the lake and were drowned. In understanding why the demons requested to be sent into the pigs, there is a need to consider a few crucial points: the nature of demons, the cultural aspects of pigs, and the spiritual implications that arise from this story. First, demons are unclean spirits. They desire incarnation, through which they could perform their evil intentions in the physical realm. While angels, who do God's work, can perform it without a host, demons like to be harbored in a human or animal body for the manifestation and exercise of their power and influence. In the story, this is obvious since the demons would rather dwell in pigs than be totally thrown out. Jesus refers to this in another passage, Matthew 12:43-45, in which he speaks about how unclean spirits move around in dry places seeking rest. But finding no rest, they look to return into a body. Being disembodied brings discomfort to demons, so rather than face that, they ask to be sent into the pigs. Second, the choice of pigs is significant. In the Jewish world, pigs were desecrated animals as prohibited under the Mosaic law, not allowed to be eaten and often linked with Gentile rites. Given that they were indeed in the region of Gerasenes, the area predominantly composed of Gentiles, nothing was strange in finding pigs. Still, in a Jewish mindset, This act had symbolic meaning. This further connects the unclean spirits and unclean animals. In this case, the demons entering the pigs and them subsequently drowning in the sea, as if the demons which were being cast out of the man were not only to be evicted from him, but also being taken away from any tenuous association with the people of God. There's also the spiritual symbolism of the destruction of the pigs. When the pigs ran down the bank and drowned, the visual effect showed us that these demons are destructive. Their ultimate goal is death and destruction. Jesus himself says in John 10:10 that the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. The death of the pigs was a representation of this truth. After the demons invaded them, the animals became frantic and self-destructive, ending in their own destruction. This was a shocking sight to behold. It was interpreted for all the witnesses present who would realize the true face of evil spirits and their wicked intentions. Moreover, this incident is also a graphic demonstration of the power of Jesus over the dominion of demons. The demons could not perform any miracle against his authority. They could only beg him, and in begging also, they conceded supremacy to him. Jesus didn't require some sort of ritual or high drama to expel them. The single word of consent was enough for them to do that, showing his authority unmatched by any other spirit. It would have been a very familiar scene with exorcisms and rituals used in the washing away of evil spirits in the society Jesus happened to be in. Therefore, it was amazing that such an exercise of authority was being presented before their very own eyes after the whole thing had gone down. The folks from town followed to see what had happened, and he sat down there on the spot, dressed and in his right mind. And they were afraid, for there was a great outcry against the pigs, and those who had been sick ran off and told it all about their experience with the demon-possessed man. At once, Jesus rose from the boat and said to the man, "Go back home." The man arrived in Gerasenes, found his own home but still occupied by the former inhabitants, and took up residence there. He kept insisting that they were not to tell anyone about what had happened to him. But now, he was released from the control of the demons that had long tormented him and lived among the tombs. Their reaction speaks volume. They were more interested in the economic loss of pigs than in man's freedom. Losing 2,000 pigs economically meant a huge loss, and that seemed to outweigh their compassion for the man who had been delivered. This reaction reveals a deeper spiritual truth about man's nature. Sometimes, material wealth is valued over spiritual freedom. This visit showed how appearance made a difference, and people were not taking the change that easily. The fact that Jesus was turned away from the people in this town when they were still relishing the miraculous experience speaks about the choice of each individual when facing reality pertaining to Christ's might and ability. The healed man wanted Jesus to let him go with him, but Jesus had other plans in store for him. He said to him, "Go back home to your own people and report to them how much God has done for you." And he went his way and proclaimed throughout all Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him. Everyone was amazed. This man became one of the first evangelists to the Gentiles, testifying freely about his conversion experience for people who remained far from God. Another important truth revealed in this part of the story is that Jesus' mission was not only for Jewish people but for the world, including Gentiles. Jesus then sent the man to his community so that he extended God's message to a region mostly unknown to him. Jesus also anticipated that the gospel shall spread beyond the Jewish territories, since he made him alive again, by presenting him to live testimony in God's power of mercy and authority of Jesus over evil. This story tells us powerful lessons. The first thing is an emphasis on Jesus' absolute authority over all the spiritual forces. Whatever were the spirits in this man, and however violent they might have been, they were hopeless against Jesus. They could only implore at his mercy, for only such overwhelming power could pertain to him. This story assures us that no force of darkness can stand against Christ's power. It also reveals the nature of evil as destructive. The demonic influence was self-destructive and chaotic, whether it happened in the man or in the pigs. This is a harsh reminder that the dark spiritual forces are not neutral. Rather, they are naturally destructive and attempt to destroy. That's something to press for freedom from any opportunity to let those destructive influences come in. Finally, this reminds us of the value of Jesus to individual lives. For Jesus, 2,000 pigs' economic value was nothing in comparison with that which he held precious, the life and freedom of one tormented man. Jesus showed compassion and mercy, reaching out to someone who was considered untouchable and beyond hope. This encounter reveals his heart toward those bound, isolated, and oppressed, vindication of how far he is willing to go for deliverance and transformation to be released into a person's life. This is the most beautiful and profound demonstration of the power, mercy, and mission of Christ. How he reminds us also of the spiritual realities that lie behind physical reality, the authority of Jesus over each force of evil, and life-transforming mercy he has for all who go to him. This story proves Jesus' unmatched power and compassion. He was not afraid of how many demons were in him, nor how violent his behavior could be. Instead, he cared more about this man's life than about any other possible loss to the earth. It is a great reminder that no one is beyond redemption, no darkness is too great for Jesus to bring the light into it, and that every life holds immense worth to God. What does this story reveal to you about the authority of Jesus? How does this make you think about spiritual battles or your own struggles? Let me know in the comments section. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.